Oy vey. Do you guys have any idea how long that took me in order to get all of this stuff working? I need to get a better computer. Oh my gosh. Let me just queue up the live stream on my tablet here just to make sure everything is working correctly. Where's my Twitch? There's my Twitch. Not my Twitch, my YouTube. I want my YouTube. Just queuing up to make sure everything's working okay. Okay, it looks like it is. Alright. Greetings, geeks and gamers alike. My name is Captain Noobify, and it has been a while since I last talked with you guys. So we're gonna have just like a little conversation. Maybe play some Star Wars. Even though I know nobody's really watching. Check 1 2 check. And yeah, we're gonna play some Jedi Fallen Order. Maybe I'll get distracted a little bit. Oh, my controller's all the way back here. Also, I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to line this camera up. Yeah, I gotta get that all fixed. But we will. We're gonna make this work. Anyway, let us hop right into the video game, shall we? Anyway, so yeah, a lot has happened since my last live stream. For those of you who don't know, let me just double check my recording quality. My audio is mixing okay. So as of April, my mom has unfortunately passed away. It has been quite a while since I last live streamed, even though I know
this
nobody
looks like
really
a safe place to
watches
meditate. Just need to focus my mind.
I'm gonna meditate real quick. Oop. And this is like, I've completely forgotten how to play this game. But in other news, yeah, my family's still doing okay. We're struggling a little bit. We've had a few bombshells dropped on us financially, especially recently. But yeah, we're doing our best to cope. And so far so good, honestly.
Hey.
Anyway,
BD1.
in more lighthearted affair.
I'm Cal.
The
I'm okay.
sequel to this game has actually just been announced.
No, not you.
Not just. I want to say it
Searching
was
for a
announced
Jedi,
maybe
I think.
a month ago.
Hold on. You know the Jedi? What do you know?
What's it called? Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Did you just slice that? Thanks.
No release date outside of a 2023 release year, I'm pretty sure. So super excited
Evolved
for that.
Seer mentioned. Whoever I'm supposed to find must be waiting there.
We're getting a few more Star Wars shows. We have Andor coming out later this year. That's really exciting. It actually looks really good. Not gonna lie, it actually looks really good. And let me just turn my microphone around real quick. Recently, as of the recording this video, it was announced, I want to say either yesterday or the day before, with today being Thursday. It was either announced on Monday or Tuesday that God of War Ragnarok, the sequel to the hit God of War, I'm trying to, how do I okay, there we go. Anyway, the sequel to the hit God of War 2018 finally has a release date. It is releasing as
I sense something over here.
November 9th, I believe.
That's a really big bug.
Yes, I've completely forgotten that. Of course, I don't have the wall running ability yet. Yes, God of War Ragnarok is getting a... sorry, we always knew that it was getting a sequel. It was announced that we are getting a sequel. But the release date has finally been confirmed as November 9th. So that is game number 4 that I will potentially be getting this year. The other 3 games, actually, the first one is a maybe. Mostly because, like, with Nintendo games, I try to wait a little while.
Gotta get across this gap somehow.
But there's a franchise that I recently fell in love with as of near the end of last year, Xenoblade Chronicles. We are getting a 3rd game in the form of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that was announced, I believe, earlier this year.
Wait, you didn't?
Not even earlier this year, like, I think it was earlier this year it was announced. I thought for some reason that it was being released in September. It is not. It is actually being released this month, July. July 29th, I believe. Now, with Xenoblade, I
hear you, but there's something over here I want to explore.
I will not be getting... Oh, okay. Yeah, I will not be getting, I will probably not be getting it day 1, mostly because, I have other games that I would like to get, and
what is this place?
Additionally, I could be facing unemployment real soon. Not to put a dower on things, but, yeah, we're facing, I work in construction, we're facing kind of a concrete shortage, if you will, and if there's no concrete, then there's no construction. So, yeah, we okay, lovely. So yeah, I will potentially be out of a job, maybe temporarily, maybe not. Sometime this year, it looks like. So, you know, just pray that that's not the case, but also pray that I put a bit more trust in God, as this is currently the only career that I have, and I would love for it to be stable. But you never know. But yeah, I'm dumping a lot of money in savings. I'm starting up projects that I've always wanted to do, but never quite had the motivation to do it, and now I do. I will be renewing my subscription with Adobe, and I will be making content on a separate channel called New DM. GNU DM. And if you want to get ahead of the curve, go ahead, both of you, because I currently have 2 viewers. Go ahead and, yeah, I've completely forgotten how to play this game. I'm so used to God of War where the right bumper is attacked. And yeah, I don't know if I will be permanently migrating over there, but it's essentially going to serve as a fresh start, and it allows me to talk about stuff that I'm quite passionate about.
Whoever lived here used this room for storage. They kept food and supplies.
Couldn't already do that for me. My foot's falling asleep. Wow. I just want to see something really quick. How does this look? That looks really weird and really white. But hey, yeah, I can change my angles now. Pretty sweet. I actually want to thank my friend Tim. He moved last year, give or take, and I think it was around last year, yes. And he tends to like to get rid of stuff, kind of like a start to a new chapter. And he gave me his old DSLR, and now I have a second camera that I can use.
That was pretty brave. You okay?
Yeah, new DM is gonna kind of serve as like a fresh restart.
I can help you with that.
And allow me to you know, start fresh, make content that I actually want to make. Because Captain Noobify was always going to be about Let's Plays and being like the, let's be honest, the attempt at the Markiplier gold
this
mine.
should help you get moving now.
I love Markiplier. Absolutely adore him. But I've always wanted to make like actual long-form content that I'm passionate about, and not that I'm not passionate about playing video games. I absolutely love playing video games, but I've always wanted to make videos very much so in the vein of, I know it's kind of a hot button topic right now. Well, not right now, but it used to be. You know, the Nostalgia Critic, a la the Nostalgia Critic or the Angry Video Game Nerd. Make content in that aspect. Yes, I'm using an orange lightsaber crystal, and I am using the premium content stuff because I feel like it. And, you know, I paid for it back when the game came out, so why not use it? Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll switch to green. Maybe I'll switch to green. And then when I get the purple crystal, switch to that, because... Cool little factoid. Also, New DM is going to serve as an additional passion project where I'm going to really express my love for Star Wars. If I can show you behind the camera here, I have an entire shelf that is nothing but Star Wars. Sorry, that's a bit of a stretch, but
BD, that's a little small for me.
Is
Don't
just
worry,
Star Wars.
I'll find my own way out.
And yeah, I really want to just talk about Star Wars maybe as I read the books, or even talk about stuff upcoming.
But this should work.
Talk about the Book of Boba Fett, talk about the Mandalorian, maybe even Ahsoka when it comes out, Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have a lot to say about Obi-Wan Kenobi. But yeah, just and also talk about, as the name implies, Dungeons and Dragons content.
Those vines look like they lead somewhere.
Recently, I mean,
Hope
like
they're
maybe
sturdy.
the beginning of the pandemic. I started a stint as a new dungeon master for. I currently have 2 games going right now. I have one that is currently going through Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And I have another that is completely homebrew. And I would love to make videos revolving around the world that I created. And yes, I and I know that's kind of
yeah, I'm all right.
What's the word? Not vain to talk about, because I know this is the first world that I've created for Dungeons and Dragons.
Full of surprises.
But it's ultimately to get opinions and get input on things, to be challenged.
Thanks, little droid.
Because my circle is small, and I only have one other friend that's a dungeon master. I haven't really talked to him about his experience
on board.
Doing anything homebrew. So I'm hoping that
how'd you get here?
Through making these videos
never
about
known a forgetful droid.
I made,
Can't argue with that.
I can get some actual input and advice going forward. But you know, that's later down the line. I am working on a script for
a chest.
A video
Jedi would mind if we grab supplies.
Essentially going to serve as like an introduction to Partharia,
something we can use.
I created, as well as a because the videos are going to serve 2 purposes. They're going to serve as my they're going to serve as getting the world out there and talking to people about it.
That's where we need to go.
Getting input, getting opinions, and advice, so that I can better my game for my players. The second is to serve as a tool for my players to use as I introduce lore and historical elements, so that they have stuff to so that they can reference it. Sorry, just going back here. Yeah, so
I can't make it over there.
To also serve
gotta find
as,
another way.
Something my players can use as like a visual for remembering stuff about the world and everything. And I understand, like, oh, why don't you just write a book? That's on the docket too. I am actually using the stuff that happens in the campaign and crafting a narrative around it. I would love to write a book about Fartharia and the adventures within that involve my players. Very, I don't want to say Critical Role-esque, but in a sense, yeah. There are elements that I later found out that Critical Role has implemented in their world. So we shall see what happens. But there's just a lot of stuff in my life right now, and I'm trying to set up more, stuff for myself. Oof. I still don't remember much of this game. Fantastic game, but I played it so long ago. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about God of War for a second. I'm actually really excited for it. If that's probably going to be something I live stream eventually.
But standing up to that bog rat?
God of War leading up to the release of God of War Ragnarok. But some of the other games that I'm looking forward to. That's right, I still haven't mentioned 2 of the other games that I'm looking forward to this year. So the first one was Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but I'm more so going through these in release order. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that's coming out July 29th, I'm pretty sure. I have it written down in my calendar. Oh, thanks, Jen. Yeah, it's it absolutely is. It can be challenging though. I'm not playing on the hardest difficulty. I'm a big proponent of playing games for the story, less for the frustration. So I like to just play through my games with as little to no difficulty as possible. That's a big thing over there. But I know I don't have to fight it, so we good. Oh, shoot. Anyway, so that was game number 1. Game number 2 is a
Someone made camp
The
here.
Last of Us Part 1.
They were excited to discover a giant creature that lives close by.
Out September
Binoc,
the
they called it.
11th. I'm pretty sure. 9/11. Oh boy. Yeah, that game comes out September 11th. I'm pretty sure. Without looking at my calendar, I could be wrong. But I'm super excited for it. I might play through the original before the remake comes out. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, all 2 of you, there is a remake of the original game, or the game The Last of Us, I guess in an attempt for the games to be more synchronized to each other. So I don't know about the gameplay. In fact, I don't think we've seen anything gameplay-wise. But at least visually speaking, it is going to be more emblematic of Last of Us Part 2 in its character models, in its environment. Like they're essentially remaking the game with the tools that they acquired during the development of Last of Us Part 2. And the thing that really sold me on it is the character model that they use for Tess, if you know who Tess is from the original Last of Us.
Where are you going?
They remade her model from the ground up to resemble the actress that portrayed her, who did the voice work and the motion capture for her. And the likeness is uncanny. I'm sold, and I'm excited to see what they do with this. I don't know if they're gonna change anything story-wise. In a way, I hope they don't. I'm gonna rest here for a little bit. Yeah, if you rest, you respawn enemies. Just as a heads up. Very Dark Souls. Very Dark Souls-esque. Oh no, I don't have any skill points. I can't do anything. But yeah, I really excited for Last of Us Part 1. I hope that they implement some new stuff, maybe with the crafting, the weaponry.
This tool was used by someone eager to reach the vault.
But in a way, I hope that the story and the gameplay remains remotely untouched. But I do expect, like, the models are going to be changed. Already, Ellie and Joel look a lot, well, they pretty much are their Last of Us Part 2 character models from, like, the flashbacks. Spoiler alert, there are flashbacks in Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, the character models more resemble those. Oh, the big boy. It's a heavy boy. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Okay, I guess I'm saving that clip. Saving that clip. Record what happened, record the last minute. Saving that. Yeah, I genuinely hope that they don't change anything with the story, almost anything with the gameplay. I know I'm kind of repeating myself at this point. But, oh, there's 3 of you now. How cool. Welcome to the stream.
Huh? I can't get it to work.
Not yet, anyway. Anyway, so on to the 3rd game. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a maybe. God of War Ragnarok is a definite, if my financial situation holds up. Pending. This is all, like, in asterisks. Like, should things continue to pan out. But, yeah, Last of Us Part 1 is a definite. God of War Ragnarok is a definite. The 3rd game that is a definite is actually going to be technically 2 games, but I count them as 1. The new Pokemon games coming out in the same month as God of War. I believe they're actually within a week of each other. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Pokemon series. I'm super excited that we're getting to explore a region that's influenced by that's very Spanish influenced, I guess the proper term is. If that's not, I don't even think that's the proper term, but that's the term that's coming to mind. But it's very influenced by Spain and Spanish culture. It's going to be the first region that's going to be based, I believe the area is called the Iberian Peninsula, which is kind of like all-encompassing. It doesn't, it's a different name now, but Yeah, I'm excited for that. I currently have a complete Pokedex of all 900 something Pokemon, all the way up to Pokemon Legends Arceus. I am only missing one catchable form, in the form of Enamorus, the Therian form or the Incarnate form, whichever one is like the Cloud form, not the animal form. I think I'm actually going to go back, because I don't know if we're going to do this bit yet. I think I'm just going to continue on with the story. Anyway, yeah, and the Pokemon within the game look really, really neat. I don't know which starter I would choose. The only one that I remember the name of is Fuecoco, which is essentially like an alligator hot pepper. Very on the nose there, Game Freak. I think that's the one that I don't think that's the one that I would pick. If I were to pick any of them, I love... well, see, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with all the starter types. But, like, my favorite Pokemon of all time is a water starter. It is, Oshawott. Not just because I live in Oshawa and it seems like Oshawott is part... I know it's not fully named, but if you look up the name origins for Pokemon, it implies that... or not implies, but it's stated in one of the references that it might be named after my hometown, Oshawa, Ontario. Because I guess in terms of... Japan, we're known for our what's the term for it? We're known for our I forget what the term is. It's conservation. We're known for our conservation, I guess. I'm trying to figure out how to get back up. I don't think I can. Maybe I have to go back up this way. Anyway. Yeah, Fuecoco is the only one that I can remember the name of. And I like to I don't like to pick a Pokemon based off of its final evolution. I love to go in completely blind as much as I can anyway. But Fuecoco is really cool. The cat's grass starter is really cool. The water conquistador duck looks interesting. I would love to. In fact, who would I pick as my starter? Honestly, I might just roll a dice. And 1 to 2 is yeah, 1 to 2 is the cat starter. 3 to 4 is the duck starter, and then 5 and 6 are Fuecoco. And I can't believe I can't remember their names. That's gonna bug me. Yeah, you run little water dragons. Do I have to? Oh no, I can't even. Oh, what? What? Oh.
Another one? See something in there?
Oh! Now I learned how to wall run. Perfect.
Try again.
Flashback.
It's difficult, Master.
Yo,
yes,
is that
the path is difficult.
Critical Role
It may seem
alumni
impossible,
Travis
But
Willingham
with persistence
as
and the force
Jero
as your
Tapal?
ally, you will overcome any obstacle. You will
I don't
master
expect
any
anybody
path.
to know who that is.
Now, do what you
But
must
that's
to
Travis
reach me.
Willingham, and I absolutely adore the man. Towards a rigid wall.
Good.
Yay. Good. Again.
Now, reach my position.
Hey.
I did it.
Well, yeah.
Persistence in the Force is my ally. Just remembering old tricks.
Now, I'm pretty sure that I can just wall run my way up here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done. I'm pretty sure I've done this before, where I can just wall run up. Okay, so I guess I have to start here and. Can I do it? I'm pretty sure I've done it before. Oh well, I'm done with this. Be gone with him. What is that growling? Do you hear that? Oh, hello! Hey, buddy. Forgot you were there. Yeah, it's been awfully long time since I played this game. Yeah, Jedi Survivor is coming out. What's interesting about the trailer is that it looks
Think
like...
you can show me that shortcut again?
Okay, yeah. What was that? Was that my phone? I think it was my phone. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have went the other way. We haven't seen any gameplay. We've just seen the reveal trailer, and the reveal trailer looks interesting. To me, at least. Mostly because, like, there's a scene in the trailer
frustrated with the Jedi Council.
Cal is standing in front of somebody in a Bacta tank, and I don't know who that is, and that intrigues me because I love introducing new characters that have some sort of tie to old characters, if that makes any sense. I think my muscle memory's coming back. So I'm really interested to see
This
what
area
they
was used for
do
meditation.
with this new character.
There's someone familiar with the Jedi Order.
But it looks like we're getting a couple characters. There's one character that looks Utapawan, which is like those guys from episode 3 with like the lines down their face with like the teeth. Yeah, he looks like a very he looks like he's got quite the orbit around him. Yeah, the gameplay, not the gameplay trailer, the cinematic trailer looked interesting. What other trailer? What other stuff did we get? Oh yeah, that Quantic Dream, Star Wars High Republic game that we're getting. Yeah, definitely. Maxed health. Yeah, that High Republic Quantic Dream game that we're getting, that looks interesting based off of the cinematic trailer. Apparently I was wrong on a number of planets that they showcased. One of the planets I swore looked like Naboo, but I guess it's not Naboo, it's a different planet. For those of you that don't know, the High Republic is kind of Star Wars, it's kind of Disney's like attempt at it's essentially like their investment right now in Star Wars. It's everything up until this point has been like pre-established characters that George Lucas created. And the only original things were the stories that take place in the world. This is essentially Disney's Star Wars. Is This is their Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is their not Dresden Files. What am I thinking of? This is their oh, what's the name? Artemis Fowl. This is their attempt at like what their franchise is Star Wars. And right now we're currently in the midst of Phase 1. They just actually wrapped up Phase 1, and we will be going into Phase 2 sometime near the end of this year, actually. I hear that dragon. There's that dragon. Yeah, what else is coming up? I'm seeing the new Thor movie on Saturday. Really excited for that. Yeah, I'm seeing the new Thor movie on Saturday. I have my next Fartharia session coming up. But yeah, I just want to use, back to my new channel for a second, I just want that to be like the thing that is actually where I'm actually indulging in my creativity. Not just making pump out content like Let's Plays. And don't get me wrong, I might still live stream video games over there. Either that or I'll just continue live streaming video games here. And keep New DM as like, you know, my JonTron channel or my Cat Icarus channel. Something like that.
We're not finished yet. Okay, he probably would have won. Probably.
My JonTron channel, my Pro Jared channel. That's the kind of content that I want to make, but for like Star Wars, for Mass Effect, for Marvel, for Dungeons and Dragons, like I want to make the stuff that I actually want to make. And will the release schedule be consistent? Absolutely not. You'll probably receive like one video a month. You'll probably receive one video every couple of weeks. It just depends on it. Essentially, I'm going by the philosophy, it's done when it's done. I don't want to just like, you know, unless I can make this a job, which I'm not banking on. Nor should anybody like bank on making YouTube or any kind of content creation their full-time job.
You all right, BD?
Well done, whoever you are. You have passed the test I left
until
behind,
I get it to a point
and
where
gained
I could,
access to the vault and this recording,
that's
one
essentially what the
of
release
many
schedule is going to be.
encrypted logs stored in the droid.
It's going to be my
I am
creative
Master
output
Eno
outside of Dungeons and
Cordova.
Dragons and
I may
reading,
not know your name, but I know
comics
your
and,
purpose.
watching
The fate
YouTube.
of the Jedi Order lies in your hands.
Yeah, it's
This place, this vault, is a sacred
I
temple.
might even release short films
built
on
by a
there. I have
vanished
ideas for short
civilization
films
known
that I
as
would
the
love
Zepho.
to do.
Meditating
Even some like
here,
Star
I
Wars
was granted
projects,
a
like
premonition through the
doing
Force,
audio
a
dramas
vision
based off of some
doom.
of like the
I have
Jude
placed
Watson
inside
books.
this vault a
like
Jedi
Jedi
hologram
Apprentice, Jedi Quest,
containing
Last
a
of the
list
Jedi.
of the names and locations of young
and,
Force
like, have
sensitives
reoccurring
throughout
characters. Like
the galaxy.
I could
Ahead, you will
talk to
find
my
the inner
friends about
chamber
getting
of the
involved
vault,
in it
but
and having them
also another
voice
test.
act in it.
I can only trust
that
this
would be
hologram
actually
to
really,
someone
really
who has
sick.
followed my path and understands.
Just figure out who's gonna play it
Seek
too.
out
But
the
even,
hidden
like,
tombs of the
small,
three
like,
sages
there's
and learn
other
to
books, like,
perceive the mysteries of the Force
Galaxy of
as the
Fear, which is
Zepho
essentially
once
like
did. In this droid,
Goosebumps
you will
Star
find
Wars
everything
edition.
you need to
There's,
succeed
Rebel,
on this journey.
I believe
Go to the
the
Zepho
series is
homeworld.
called Rebel Target,
There,
which is like a 6-book mini-series that kind of is like
in
the
the
cap
eye of the storm.
to Last of the Jedi, because
Good luck,
Jedi.
Jedi.
I believe there are characters that come in to
may
that
the
series
Force
from The
be
Last
with
Jedi,
you.
and they have their wrap-up in the Rebel Target series. I think that's what it's called, Rebel Target. But there's also Young Jedi Knights, Junior Jedi Knights. There's the High Republic.
Yes, you were the
children's
someone I was
novels.
supposed to meet.
Even maybe even original Star Wars content. But the thing is, like with the if I were to do the audio dramas, it would be,
I've been alone for
I would have to do it not for profit,
now.
which is totally fine. It's a creative output. I'm not expecting to get paid for it.
Just hiding.
But yeah, just making audio dramas based off of the books that don't have like audio books or anything. And just seeing if I can get my group of friends together and give them characters to play as. The only issue is that like I would have to either justify or figure out a way.
You want to meet some?
Because I'm kind of going by the Clone Wars logic of things, where like they don't have to sound exactly like the characters, but they have to sound. They have to have that cadence, that representation of the character down, if that makes any sense. Because I could easily do an Alec Guinness / Ewan McGregor impression for Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan is in pretty much all three of those books. He's in all of Jedi Apprentice, he's in all of Jedi Quest, and he's in like the first 2 books of The Last of the Jedi, which makes sense because Jedi Apprentice takes place before Episode 1, Jedi Quest takes place between Episode 2 and Episode 1 and Episode 2, Last of the Jedi takes place after Episode 3. And then one thing I would also love to talk about is the comics. There's a bunch of Legends comics that people just don't talk about, and I want to, you know,
I think I found what you wanted me to see.
Take them apart. There's a whole series of comics that take place during the Clone Wars that nobody really seems to be talking about. Like, I've subscribed to a few Star Wars channels, and none of them seem to. I should have blocked more with that one. Because cool fact about this game, no regenerating health.
I'm looking.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that I want to do, that I want to make time for. It's just sorry, just answering a text. But first things first, I want to, like, I'm just going to have a series of different videos. Oh, and also back to the Dungeons & Dragons stuff. I'm going to have different versions of the same video. I'm going to have Dungeon Master versions and player versions, so that, yeah, I'm going to have Dungeon Master version and, DM version and player version videos. So it's essentially going to be the same video, but the DM version is going to have more behind-the-scenes stuff. It's going to have more a look into my thought processes in creating certain aspects of Fartharia. And, like, there will be certain, like, DM version videos that won't release until my players have completed campaign 1, and yes, I say campaign 1. I have 3 campaigns in my pocket, ready to go at a moment's notice for my players, and they're down for all 3 campaigns, because I don't think they realize though just how long D&D can be. It's either that or they just don't care. Which I'm appreciative of. They're having a good time. But yeah, like going into character analysis videos of each of my player characters, going in, or not my player characters, but my players' characters.
For such a peaceful culture to have any sort of fascination with a place
maybe even go into yeah, there's gonna be certain aspects of Fartharia that I wouldn't be able to talk about until my players get to a certain point. Like there's a series, like I want to do a history of Fartharia video, but in the player version I have to be a bit more vague about certain details. But in the DM version, which probably won't come out until after they've beaten campaign 1, it maybe. I will most likely, it'll be much more in depth and spoilery for not that I expect, because my thought process is like, I'm doing this to get input and advice. I'm not talking about it because I think other people are going to want to use this world. I guarantee people are not. Upon looking at my world, it is it's not original. And there's a lot of stuff that I would like to do, and I will. Probably for Campaign 2 and Campaign 3, because both of those campaigns are going to have a huge time jump. Well, not huge, but the second campaign is probably going to have a 5-year time jump. The third campaign is probably going to be a 20-year time jump, maybe. But yeah, there's just so much I want to talk about, but I really can't because I don't want my players to know all of the secrets. Yes, Space Jumping 2414, we live. Give me a minute here, folks. Sorry about that. I'm back. Actually, yes. If you were here earlier in the live stream, I was raving about the fact that we finally have a release date. The Ultimate Edition does look really cool. I've only seen pictures. I haven't actually watched the video where they show off the Ultimate Edition. I personally
should be a lot quicker than the
justify buying it. Mostly because I'm trying to budget better. But it looks really, really cool. Yeah. Anyway, we going back to currently we are on our way back to oh, that's an apex right there. That's a heavy boy. That's a heavy boy. Let's see. But yeah, I was talking about the games that I'm most excited about. God of War Ragnarok, Pokemon Scarlet, I almost said Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet. And can I take him? Can I take him? I might be able to take him. I might be able to take him. Yeah, if I fall from here.
It looks like it smells worse than Grease does.
Oh. Oh, I forgot to dodge. I forgot how to dodge. Yes, I am playing on a super easy difficulty. I have the game for PC, and I still haven't finished it. Yeah, I'm currently going through New Game Plus. I would love to get the... I'm currently wearing the Ares
Bogling
armor.
was killed. Is it trying to defend its family?
But I would love to get the... What's the word? The, like, the actual, like, God of War armor. Zeus armor or something like that. It's like endgame armor. I say endgame armor. Didn't even know they were coming out with a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Yeah. That is supposed to be coming out actually the same month as God of War. I was just saying that I have a complete Pokedex all the way up to the newest game that came out in Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus. You can pronounce it anyway. Yeah. I highly recommend that you do finish it, though. It looks like the game is going to take... the God of War Ragnarok, I mean, is probably going to take place a number of years after the first game. But the elements from the first game are going to heavily influence the story for the second game. Obviously, it's a sequel. But also, cool little tidbit is that the sequel is actually going to be the last, reportedly. And I think Cory Barlog, the game director, or producer, I guess, in this aspect, because he's producing the second game, he's not directing it. But he, I believe he has come out saying that this game is going to be the final game in, like, the Norse duology. And I fell through the hole again because I wasn't looking. But yeah, this game is going to be the second game in the second and final game in the Norse duology of God of War, and I have no idea what they're going to do for the if they do continue God of War. I highly doubt that they would continue it with like any other character. I feel like God of War isn't the God of War series without Kratos, no matter how much they might try to set up Atreus as, like, the next God of War. Like, I've always been a big proponent of, like, there are certain franchises that you just let die when you lose the main character. I feel like there are a few exceptions to this. One of the exceptions is definitely Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts could continue without Sora, absolutely. And just have it be like a
oh, hi there.
what's the term for it? A
Making a new friend?
What's the term for it? The, have it be like a, anthology series. That's the word I'm looking for. Have it be kind of an anthology series where each new game focuses on a new character, and then have, like, the final game be, like, Endgame, where all these characters that were introduced come together to fight the big bad evil guy. No, you are absolutely right. They absolutely could set up Kratos' son. However, I don't think that...
Find something?
From a fan perspective, from a public perception standpoint, I don't think it's possible.
Pass the test.
So you knew about BD1?
It won't be an easy pill to swallow for the fans.
Oh, BD1, this is Grease. Hey, Grease.
Especially the ride or die fans.
Get off my sofa! Get off my sofa! Don't! Get out of there! Get out!
That is BD1. He's with us.
I don't care who he's with. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get oil stains out of petroleum fabric?
Not really.
Oh, I hope you found something better out there than this droid.
Oh, calm down, Grease. He did. Tell us, Cal.
The vault was built by an ancient civilization called the Zepho. A Jedi named Eno Cordova hid something inside of it.
What did he hide inside?
A holocron from the archives. It contains a list of Force-sensitive children.
The next generation of Jedi. I knew it! Oh, Cordova, you old
this is
fool.
something that I've always wondered is this the same
A long time
holocron
ago.
that Cad
I was
Bane
his
tried
apprentice.
to lift
Cordova
from
was
the
a loner. That little
tried to
droid and I
steal
are
from
probably
the
the only ones that know
archives
about
in the
Cordova.
Jedi Temple.
Oh,
at the
wait
end
a
of
minute, wait a
season
minute.
1.
A hollow what?
A holocron. It stores
Now,
information,
if they
but only
did introduce
accessible to
Atreus,
Jedi.
and there,
Hang on,
I
have
don't
one
think
around
there
here.
would be enough fan backlash for them to like renege on that decision if that is where they're
Use the
going with it,
Force.
which I genuinely doubt. But
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report
yeah,
that
I don't
both
think
our
it would
Jedi Order and
damage the
Republic
series in
have
sales or
fallen.
anything like that. I mean, they could always pull a Metal Gear Solid 2.
With that list of Force sensitives, we could rebuild the Jedi Order.
Yeah,
and defeat
almost
the
like an
Empire.
epilogue. They could totally do
Okay,
like
no
a side
problem.
DLC
Let's get it.
that's like
Except
an
the holocron
epilogue,
is hidden deep inside the vault, and to
or-
get it, we have to follow Cordova's path. He mentioned something about the planet
Oh, no, I
Dathomir
understood what
and
you
a
meant.
Zepho homeworld.
You don't need to worry
Okay, well,
about
where
the
are we
spelling.
going? I'm just
But,
asking because I was
yeah,
thinking
this
maybe
could
making
be
some food.
it could be
Look,
like an epilogue
before we do
DLC
anything,
or a side story
I
that
need to know
does
something.
focus on Atreus.
You're no
They
longer a
did the
Jedi.
same thing in the original Last of Us, where
I had an
they had
experience
the
that
main game be
changed
mostly
my
Joel with a
perspective.
little bit of Ellie,
So
and then
I
they had
cut myself off from the
DLC that served as
But you still
like
want to rebuild the Order.
a
I believe
prequel
that rebuilding the Order is the best
that
chance we have
where you got to
against
play
the
as Ellie.
Empire.
But
do
they
you
could
believe?
also pull a Last of Us Part 2 /
I believe
Metal
I
Gear
can't
Solid
keep hiding
2
from the Empire, so I don't really have a
and
choice.
not
As long as you're alive, you will
talk
always
about
have a choice.
or not announce that
Are
they'd
you
be
with
playing
us?
as a new character. So like Last of Us Part 2, when that was making the rounds, a lot of people
We're
were
in.
excited. Oh, we're just playing as Ellie,
That's
like it's what we
Zepho.
wanted, it's so
It's
cool.
your choice.
And then they pulled a fast one, spoiler for Last of Us Part 2, but Ellie is not the only character that you play as. Yeah, Ellie is not the only character that you play as in Last of Us Part 2. I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say why, but yeah. And also the game has been out for 2 years now. But there's also Metal Gear Solid 2. Spoilers for a 20-year-old game, give or take. But when the marketing was going around for Metal Gear Solid 2, it pretty much showed only the opening tanker mission that you play, the opening ship mission that you play as Solid Snake in. They did show like little clips here and there from like the villain cutscenes. Basically, they wouldn't show anything of Raiden, or Raiden, whichever. I say Raiden. I know a lot of people prefer Raiden, but they didn't make it public that you will not be playing as Metal Gear as Solid Snake for the majority of the game. The majority of the game, 95% of the game, you're playing as another character named Raiden, and a lot of people hated that. It it didn't hurt the sales because they didn't announce it. They made it seem like you were playing as Snake for the whole game. But yeah, when it came out and fans bought the game and then they realized, why am I playing as this blonde wuss of a character? Where's my Solid Snake? And then in Metal Gear Solid 3, they're like, oh, hey, look, you're playing as Snake, but not Solid Snake. You're playing as Naked Snake, a.k.a. Big Boss. And then the fourth game was when you play as Solid Snake again. But I feel like in order, like, it was a tougher pill to swallow, but it got easier as time went on, because as time went on, people started to realize, oh, no, that story needed to be told, and that story needed to be told without, like, from the eyes of another character, not Solid Snake. The story had a more impact with a new character rather than Solid Snake. What other games pulled the same thing? Recently, well, they were very
Hey, Grease, what's this thing?
What?
vocal
You've never
about
seen
it,
a
but
terrarium
they
before?
Sure, but don't they usually have plants in them?
Well, I've been
recently
a bit busy
in the new
hauling
Ratchet
you
and
around
Clank
the
game,
galaxy. You know, you could
not only
maybe
did you
back
play
with
as
some
Ratchet and
seeds.
Clank, but you
Thought
played
you
as
hated nature.
an
out
alternate
there, you
dimension
betcha.
version of Ratchet
But
and
when it's
Clank
behind a comfortably thick wall
in the form of
barbed glass,
Rivet.
That's perfection.
And I thought that was handled
Let's see if I
really,
can
really
find
well. She's a great character. I absolutely adore. Yeah, you know what? In the spirit of Obi-Wan, I want... Why am I playing someone other than Snake? My exact feelings when I played Last of Us 2, I was like, why am I using another character that isn't Ellie? Yeah, and I will admit, like, I am not... A lot of people call Last of Us Part 2 a masterpiece. I'm very hesitant to call it a masterpiece. I don't... Because I genuinely don't think it is. It does have... it has problems. It doesn't execute everything flawlessly. And I feel as though, and I subscribe to the Jeremy Johns line of thinking. I think this was Jeremy Johns, maybe Chris Stuckman. But I agree with them in the aspect that it should have been 3 games rather than 2. And there still could be a third game coming out. In fact, I kind of hope that there is, but I feel like in my friend group, I'm the minority when it comes to that. But so originally what I feel should have happened was you had the first game, keep it in its, the way that it is. You don't need to change anything. But for part 2, what they should have done was have it still be Ellie and Joel, have it be an Ellie and Joel adventure. However, introduce Abby as this main character who Joel and Ellie grow to love. Like, Ellie begins to grow into loving like a sister. Joel begins to grow into like a father figure for Abby. And then near the end of the game, after whatever shenanigans ensue, you reveal the big reveal about Abby and her connection to the Fireflies, and like ultimately her connection to Joel through the Fireflies. And then at the end of part 2, have that be have that final moment of the confrontation between Abby and Joel. Abby survives, Joel does not, and then in the third game have that be Ellie's revenge tale. I think that would have been a more epic trilogy, and it would have paid off a lot more, because the way that they handled it in part 2, it wasn't handled well. It was quite jarring, and I don't know, part of me feels like it could have been handled a lot better than it was. I enjoyed the new Ratchet & Clank. Insomniac Games have been making amazing games lately, and I'm excited to see how Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine is going to be. Yes, Spider-Man 2 comes out next year. Wolverine, I don't believe, has a release date. If I had to hazard a guess, it might be 2024 or late 2023. But it almost feels like Insomniac is taking a swing at their version of an MCU, except calling it an MGU, I guess. Because I do have a feeling that Wolverine is going to have elements, shout-outs, maybe even straight-up cameos from the Spider-Man games. I think there is definitely going to be a third game. I think there is definitely going to be a third game for The Last of Us. I think, personally, that the third game is going to be Ellie's, I don't want to say redemption, but it's essentially she's going to take on the role of Joel, like Joel did for Last of Us Part 1. She could be standoffish, she could be living on her own because she can't go back to the town that she was living in, out of, I don't know what the term is, out of shame, I guess. But she's essentially living on her own as she comes across this kid that she now has to take under her care. It doesn't have to be beat for beat the same as Last of Us Part 1, but I feel like that would be a good circle for her character, where she started as Joel's surrogate daughter, grows to love Joel as a father figure, has her downfall in The Last of Us Part 2, and then have the third game be that cycle back up to her being a more heroic, sympathetic character. And honestly, I kind of don't want them to bring Abby back. I feel like they will. I feel like they're not done with her story yet. I feel like the worst thing that they could do, though, is have a Last of Us Part 3, but have it be just about Abby. I don't think anybody would be excited for it. However, Neil Druckmann, the writer for Last of Us Part 2, he likes to subvert expectations to a detrimental degree. So it could very much be like, oh, hey guys, look, Last of Us Part 3, Ellie's back, yeah! Then she dies in the first, 15 minutes, hour of the game, and we're playing as, another character for the rest of the game. At that point, I would just be like, nah, I'm done. It depends, though. It depends on how they handle it, but I could totally see, a 3-game story arc where Ellie, starts on her rise, she's now on her downfall, and now she's going back up to being not a heroic character, but a character that we can look up to again. Or a more, sympathetic, not necessarily, lawful good, but chaotic good, maybe. There isn't a doubt in my mind that they will be doing a third game. The second game made a lot of money.
Seer, can you feel the Force at all?
Yes. But instead of opening up, I push it back down. The exact opposite of what you should do.
Out there, I remembered something about myself before the
a
Purge.
game that I feel like I should be
painful,
excited for, but I'm really not. Gotham
I found
Knights.
a piece of myself.
That's good.
That
You're learning to.
I don't want to say
embrace the Force
Assassin's
again.
Creed ripoff, but if you look at the
say that?
gameplay and you look at
Because
how
I
the
know
game
what
is
it
laid
means
out,
to
it
live
definitely
without
looks like it was
Okay.
inspired by,
I'll keep trying.
at the very least, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is the Greek Assassin's Creed game, the Greek mythology Assassin's Creed game. I think
On our way to Zepho.
yeah. Long story short, I think the game could be
Breeze, have you
interesting
ever
if
thought
it
of
was done right. If it's
redecorating?
done right.
The Mantis?
Why
wouldn't?
but everything
wouldn't hurt
they've
to throw
shown
some art on the
gameplay-wise for
walls.
Gotham Knights,
Something new to look at.
is
Since when do you care about art?
not
I've always liked it.
has
When I
not
was younger,
gotten me
I used to
excited.
pour through every piece I could
at all.
find at the Jedi archive.
And that's
Did
good
you
for you.
critique them
I'm
too?
glad that you're really excited
I
for Gotham Knights,
admire
and I was too when it was
When
first
I became a
announced.
student, I got to
When
see
they were
human
saying like,
beings.
"Oh, hey, it's
So many different
Gotham-
cultures in
it's,
the galaxy, and each one had their own unique walks
Gotham
of
Knights.
life.
It's
It was
gonna be all of
breathtaking.
Batman's sidekicks. You've got Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood, Batgirl.
Get over here, kid. We're about
And
to
look,
land.
we're introducing villains that you've always wanted to see. We're introducing the Court of Owls. We have a different Penguin. We have a different
Think of a storm
Suicide
brewing
Squad
down
does
there.
look like it's going to be fun.
This might not
yes,
be the
yes,
best
it does.
time to
and
land.
it's based in the
Yeah,
Arkham
something
which is
strange.
really interesting.
Those winds are
because
interfering with
we
our
see in one of the
comms.
gameplay
Cordova
trailers,
mentioned something
we
about
see
peace in the eye of the
Batmobile.
storm. Well, I
So,
can just make out a settlement in the
who's
middle of
Batman
it.
in the
Then
who's
we have to
Batman?
get
Because I
there.
think I'm
Copy that.
95% certain that this game takes place post Arkham Knight. So we see the Batmobile for a couple of seconds in the trailer for Suicide Squad. Kill the
Couple
Kill
bumps
the
ain't gonna
Justice
kill you, kid.
League.
Unless
So
Olympics.
who is Batman?
Can
right?
you tell that bucket of balls to keep his opinion to
Or is it
himself?
still
I'm
Bruce
sure
Wayne?
everything's
Do we get
under
to
control.
see like
It's under control. It's
what
just a little
Batman has
tricky.
become? Yeah, I'm 95% certain that they have said that this takes place.
Okay,
post-
hold on.
Absolutely, I don't. I agree with you. I am not convinced in the slightest
landing.
that Batman is actually
Easy money,
dead.
baby.
But I'm still getting a lot of interference on the comms. It's gonna take me a minute to get them back up.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
not
search for signs of
convinced
Cordova in
the
the meantime.
slightest that Batman is dead.
Good.
I feel like
I'll be in touch once I crack this.
I feel like it's tough to ask the audience to, you know,
Cal, over here. You did good work on Bagamo. The more information we gather on Cordova
Sorry,
and
just listening to
Zepho,
this.
the closer we'll get to stopping the Empire.
I've heard of ancient
Do I
cultures,
think
but don't know
Batman
much
will be
about them.
playable in Gotham
I only
Knights?
knew that Cordova was obsessed with
Probably.
the
I
Zepho,
think it's
believing their
likely
teachings
that
to be
Batman
important.
will be playable in Gotham
I
Knights
too
at
was
some
intrigued
point.
by the mysteries
Either
of
that
our
or
galaxy.
have like a side
better get
mission
moving.
/
There's a lot
DLC
to learn
/
here.
epilogue where we do
Good
get to
luck.
play as Batman. However, if they don't allow us to play as Batman, I won't be hurt over it because we've had 4 games up to this point where we play as only Batman. Yeah, sorry, just looking at messages. The gameplay for Gotham Knights looks cool. The Gotham City is apparently open world, even though the level that they showed with Batgirl going up against Mr. Freeze, it looked linear. It did not look like an open world Gotham. So it begs to question how much of Gotham is going to be open world and how much of it is going to be mission based. Like, specifically what I'm talking about is when Batgirl is rushing to the location that Mr. Freeze is in with on the Bat Cycle, and they were like, oh yeah, it's an open world Gotham, like fully open world. I guess it's bigger than the Arkham Knight map, maybe. But it's yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, like, something about that gameplay and watching Batgirl, like, drive around on the Bat Cycle, like, something about it just, I was like, this doesn't look open world, this looks incredibly linear, but sure, if you say it's an open world Gotham City, sure, I'll take your word for it for now. I like the idea of the gear. That looks like that's, like, more influenced by, stuff like Injustice, specifically Injustice 2. What else am I thinking of? I think Suicide Squad's going to do the same thing where they're going to have I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're going to do the same thing where there's gear that you can collect that gives like buffs and debuffs, like very like introducing RPG mechanics into a Batman game, that's interesting.
Hey, now.
Even though the Arkham games were like a light RPG,
So what was in there?
where you could like change the costume that Batman was wearing, although it was just really a skin. It didn't really add or take away anything. And you could like customize the skill, the skill tree. However, if you sniff around hard enough, you will max out every skill in the game, in every Arkham Knight game, or Arkham game, not Arkham Knight game, but every Arkham game. If you sniff around hard enough, you do everything in the game, you'll probably unlock everything.
This door's not budging.
But I agree. Also, back to your comment that I saw there, I think that it is time for other superheroes to take the reins. I do think that a Superman game, it's about time for an actual committed Superman game, not just like Superman Returns, where Metropolis, where Metropolis has no health bar.
So what was in there?
But like an actual. Basically, an open world Superman game can be fun, but it could also
Can't get through.
it can also be handled poorly. Like, Rocksteady was supposed to make a Superman game. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a leaked image of like the pause menu of what the game was going to look like, and but I guess they realized, or I guess they couldn't
Watch out, BD.
Either WB Games pulled the trigger, or Rocksteady pulled the trigger, because Rocksteady I feel is all about like quality storytelling, and I think like when it comes to superheroes, you have two ends of the spectrum.
Can you hear me?
And all
The
other
Empire.
superheroes
They
fall
found Zepho.
under that
If they were
spectrum.
following the mantis,
So you have
would have been swarmed
Superman on
already.
one side, he is
Could they be
all
looking for the
powerful,
tubes?
and then you have Batman on
Let's
the other
hope
side
not.
who has no powers,
Just
but
got
he's
our
incredibly
comms working.
smart.
I'll try the same workaround to crack
Every
it
other
there.
superhero in existence falls somewhere within that spectrum. And I feel like Superman can be a great character, can be an intriguing character, but he's almost never handled right, if that makes any sense. I can only name a couple of series off the top of my head. You're right, they are making a Wonder Woman game. That could be interesting as well. We've only seen like a cinematic trailer for it, so I'm holding my breath. Their Arkham Origins was pretty good. It's not the best Arkham game, but let's be honest, like, let's be honest, like, it's better than Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum upon replay is, I don't want to say it's not good. It is good. It's just, it didn't age well. If that makes any sense. It didn't really age well. But I think that they could
Mother used
do
this
a good
fabric to
Wonder
keep her
Woman
child
game.
warm.
Like, when I
They
saw
were
the
on the run from
cinematic trailer,
something.
the first thing that came to mind was how. So I think that's what I'm most interested in, is seeing how they can make a Wonder Woman game. Number one, make it fun, but also, like, you know, tell what I'd like to think is a good story.
Stim crate. Should be here. Wait, can you carry more? Thanks, BD1.
Yay, he can hold 3 stims now. Do you know what games were really fun but people don't talk about much? Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Now, cards on the table. I and it could be a hot take. I tried playing Shadow of Mordor, and I just lost interest. I think I got like halfway through the game, and I just lost interest. I don't know what it was that caused me to lose interest. I really wish I knew. But it wasn't my cup of tea. It could have been like the Nemesis system. Yes, it is like incredibly, for like to coin a phrase, game changing. But I don't think, I don't know what it was about it that caused me to stop. And I got pretty far in it too. I'm assuming the studies. Sorry, I'm assuming the studios that made the Shadow of Mordor games is going to be is doing the Wonder Woman game. Yes, if I remember correctly, I believe it is Monolith Soft that is making the Wonder Woman game, which I think would be interesting. Like, imagine taking the mechanics from Shadow of Mordor and putting it Wonder Woman on it. I think it could. I think like. I'm always open-minded. I think it could be good, but I'm just waiting to see how. I need to see gameplay. That's like, that's a big thing with me is like, okay, cool. The concept sounds interesting. Now show me that it works. And that's definitely one of them. That's definitely one of the games. The other game as well is the Knights of the Old Republic remake that's coming out, that they announced at Star Wars Celebration. Was it Star Wars Celebration? No, it wasn't Star Wars It could have been Star Wars Celebration last year. But they announced that they're remaking Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic from the ground up. And I think that could be well done, but it could also, again, be... the ball could be dropped hard. Again, like, I like the idea. I'm sure every Star Wars fan does, because Knights of the Old Republic is like one of the most I don't want to say overhyped, but most Star Wars fans, when they talk about Star Wars and what their favorite Star Wars game is, they normally somewhere near the top of their list is Knights of the Old Republic. So that's another one where, like, I've played the original. I think the original is pretty good. It hasn't aged well. Definitely needs a remake. But I need to see how it can work. How would they do it? Would they do it in the style of current Final Fantasy games where it's an action RPG? Are they still going to have the pause mechanic where before a battle starts, the game automatically pauses so you can choose your attack and then unpause the game? Personally, I'm leaning more towards an action RPG. And one thing that's also interesting as well is they announced this shortly after they announced their Disney Plus lineup for Star Wars. I think it was last year. And on that lineup is a show called The Acolyte, which is apparently supposed to take place somewhat during the time of the Old Republic. It's vague. It says sometime in the history of Star Wars. I think, I'm not 100% sure if they confirmed that it was Old Republic, but one of the things that they confirmed recently was that The Acolyte is going to recanonize a lot of Star Wars lore around the Old Republic. So that could mean Revan. It could mean like a hard canon stamp on Darth Bane. It could be, we could see the, what's it called? The Sith Triumvirate from the second Knights of the Old Republic game. Darth Malak. That we could see the Old Republic MMO be, recanonized, because right now it's kind of in a gray area. They haven't confirmed it as Legends, but they also haven't confirmed it as canon yet. But they're still making the game. There's still support for the Old Republic MMO. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they announced a new expansion for it again last year. They showed a new trailer and everything, I think. Say what you will, though. The Old Republic cinematic trailers are awesome. They're so good. But they do exactly what the movies should do, but the movies just don't. Creative swordplay using the Force, like, if they wanted like intriguing like Star lightsaber battles, they only need to reference the cinematic trailers for the Old Republic, and they'd be good. Nobody would care if they ripped them off. But yeah, so the Acolyte is apparently going to confirm, re-canonize elements of the Old Republic. So it could be a hard canon stamp on Darth Bane, Darth Revan. But it's funny how they announced that, and then we get the announcement for the Old Republic remake, which says to me, is this going to be canon? And how much of the story would they change? Would they keep the reveal the same? Would they... I don't think they would change anything story-wise outside of maybe, like, streamlining a few things. Would they introduce any new characters? Probably not. Would they change how some characters are represented? Maybe. There are certain characters in the Old Republic, in Knights of the Old Republic, that are like, do you really need to be here? And there are a few side characters that don't automatically join the party. Like in the main story, you kind of have to go off and do side quests to unlock them. Two of them that I'm thinking of is, what's his name? Jolie Bindo? The guy that you meet on Kashyyyk. I think it's Kashyyyk. It's either Kashyyyk or Taris. Is that the name of the place? Taris or Talis? The place that looks like Coruscant. And then you have the cat lady from Dantooine. She's also a side character that you kind of have to go into a side quest to go and unlock her. Who else am I thinking of? I think his name's Jolie Bindo. For some reason that name sticks out to me, but I can't remember the cat lady. I think her race is called the Cathar, but I can't remember her name. And then you have... I think there's at least one other character. I think HK-47 is technically an optional character, because you kind of have to go out of your way to... I don't remember the game entirely, but I think you do have to go out of your way to get all the parts to repair him. I think. And then I think there's one other character. I forget. The Old Republic game I never played. I heard mixed reviews from it, but wasn't entirely sure what kind of game it was. It's World of Warcraft. It's World of Warcraft Star Wars Edition. It's I've always wanted to play it, but I kind of have a love-hate relationship with MMOs because I greatly prefer games that have a very blatant beginning, middle, and end. And MMOs are kind of a hard sell for me. A lot of people have been recommending Final Fantasy XIV. I try getting into World of Warcraft, and I just can't understand the hype. To me, like, I don't get it. The only MMO that has ever really piqued my interest, and it probably was because of my childhood, is RuneScape. I still play RuneScape from time to time, mostly to complete quests because I'm all about, like, that lore. I'm all about that story. They actually just released a new quest called Twilight of the Gods, which I guess Zamorak is taking over Gielinor, and you have to stop him. I think that's what the quest is. But yeah, support for that game is still strong. It's staggering how much support that game has. But yeah, anyway, I think that's where I'm going to end the live stream there. If you care, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And actually, yeah, RuneScape is a classic, very much so. But if you care, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And also, please keep a lookout for my new channel, New DM, GNUDM, and hopefully soon I will be releasing new content on that.